Republican incumbent Ted Cruz, Representative Beto O'Rourke.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us out.
And with that, gentlemen, let's begin. Congressman O'Rourke, you drew the first question, so we're going to start with you because you drew the first question. You said last week, Representative, that you want citizenship for dreamers today, and yet others who have applied to come to America continue to wait. Senator Cruz has said he doesn't support a path to citizenship for dreamers, which means they could be sent back to a country they've never known. Who's right, Representative?
My wife, Amy, and I were in Booker, Texas. We've traveled to each one of the 254 counties, one of the reddest communities in the state, and we were surprised as we were going door to door to hear that the number one concern from people in that community was the fate of dreamers. There are nearly 200,000 in the state of Texas, and the salutatorian from Booker High School had just been deported back to his country of origin. And everyone there was concerned about his welfare, but they're also concerned about the fact that he'd just been sent back to a country whose language he didn't speak, where he no longer had family connections, where if he was successful against those long odds, he'd be successful there for that place and not here for Texas. There is no better people than those of us here in this state, Republicans and Democrats, independents alike. The defining border experience, the defining immigrant experience in state, to rewrite our immigration laws in our own image, and to ensure that we begin by freeing dreamers from the fear of deportation by making them U.S. citizens so they can contribute to their full potential, to the success not just of themselves and their families, but to this country. The economists who've studied it have said that we will lose hundreds of billions of dollars to the negative if we deport them. We will gain hundreds of billions to the positive if we keep them here. Senator Cruz has promised to deport each and every single dreamer. That cannot be the way that Texas leads on this important issue.
Senator Cruz.
Well, good evening and welcome. You know, this issue presents a stark divide between Congressman O'Rourke and me. My views on immigration are simple, and I've summed them up many times in just 4 words. Legal, good, illegal, bad. I think the vast majority of Texans agree with that. I think when it comes to immigration, we need to do everything humanly possible to secure the border. That means building a wall, that means technology, that means infrastructure, that means boots on the ground. And we can do all of that at the same time that we are welcoming and celebrating legal immigrants. There is a right way to come to this country. You wait in line, you follow the rules like my father did in 1957. When he came from Cuba, he fled oppression and he came to Texas. He came seeking freedom. We are a state and we're a nation built by immigrants. But it's striking that Congressman O'Rourke over and over and over again, his focus seems to be on fighting for illegal immigrants and forgetting the millions of Americans. You know, Americans are dreamers also. And granting U.S. citizenship to 12 million people who are here illegally, I think is a serious mistake. I think Congressman O'Rourke is out of step with Texas on that.
Representative?
I'll tell you about being out of step with Texas. Senator Cruz has sponsored legislation that would have this country build a 2,000-mile wall, 30 feet high at a cost of $30 billion. And that wall will not be built on the international border between the United States and Mexico, which is the center line of the Rio Grande. It'll be built on someone's farm, someone's ranch, someone's property, someone's homestead, using the power of eminent domain to take their property at a time of record security and safety on the border. Senator John Cornyn and I introduced legislation that would invest in our ports of entry where the vast majority of everyone and everything that comes into this country first crosses. Knowing who and what come in here makes us safer. It allows us to lead on the issues of immigration reform.
Representative, quick follow-up for you. You've addressed the dreamers. Do you think anyone who is undocumented living here should have a path to citizenship?
There are millions of people in this country who are working the toughest jobs. And we were in Roscoe at a cotton gin with 24 jobs. Every single one of them worked by someone who came to this country. Not a person born in Roscoe or nearby Sweetwater willing to do that work. That's the story of Texas and of this country. We need to bring people out of the shadows, allow them to get right by law. And yes, there should be an earned path to citizenship. The alternative, as Senator Cruz has proposed, is to deport 11 million people from this country. Imagine the cost. Imagine the stain on our conscience going forward for the generations who look back at this moment.
Representative, that's your time. Thank you.